Good evening, everyone. We're going to call tonight's meeting to order. Start with an approval of the agenda. Councillor Stevens, Councillor Andrews, all in favor? And that is carried. Any disclosures of direct or indirect pecuniary interest tonight? Seeing none, we had no closed session. We will now rise for our national anthem. If you're able, please.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
We would like to acknowledge the treaty lands and territory of the Williams Treaty Nations and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. We also recognize that Dufferin County is the traditional territory of the Wendat and the Haudenosaunee and is home to many Indigenous people today. Tonight's meeting is being aired on public television and or streamed live and may be taped for later public broadcast or webcast. Your name is part of the public record and will be included in the minutes of the meeting. Any member of the public connecting via telephone is reminded to press *6 to mute and unmute. Please remain muted until the chair requests comments or questions from the public. Tonight we are having a public meeting regarding the restaurant bylaw, and at this time I will turn the chair over to Deputy Mayor Taylor.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Tonight we will be going through item 8.1, which is a public meeting, the restaurant bylaw. So what I'm going to do is outline the procedures that will be followed for this meeting. So anyone who would like to speak to this matter is invited to call 1-289-801-5774 and enter the conference ID 433-888-200 #. Callers will be invited to provide their questions or comments following the conclusion of the meeting presentation. Any member of the public connecting via telephone is reminded to press *6 and to mute and unmute. Anyone who wants to be notified of further consideration of this topic can submit their name, phone number, mailing address, and email address to Clerk's Department, Clerks, DEPT, @orangeville.ca or call 519-941-0440 extension 2276 and reference restaurant bylaw. Any information that's collected will be a matter of the public record. So at this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to our Deputy Clerk, Ms. Tracy McDonald. Ms. McDonald, you want to speak to this item?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Taylor, and through you to the rest of council. I'm just here tonight to provide a short review of the proposed changes to the restaurant bylaw. Everyone can see my... Perfect. Okay. So the previous bylaw was passed in 2004 and council adopted a bylaw review work plan at the beginning of 2023, which outlined identified the restaurant bylaw for review in 2023. Staff did undertake a review of that bylaw and prepared a draft bylaw, which was circulated to internal and external stakeholders in September of this year. We then brought the draft bylaw forward to council on October the 30th. And the purpose, of course, of tonight's meeting is to hold a public meeting to obtain council's feedback, as well as any feedback from any members of the public that have an interest in this bylaw. Following tonight's meeting, staff will incorporate any feedback that we have received into the draft bylaw and bring that bylaw back for hopefully passing by council. We anticipate doing that at the December 11th council meeting this year. So as part of the review of this restaurant bylaw, we did undertake a review of comparator municipalities. We compared, or rather reviewed, bylaws of Barrie, Brampton, Halton Hills, Leamington, Wasaga Beach, and Woodstock. The proposed bylaw will create a licensing framework for issuing restaurant licenses. It will also provide the public with clear guidelines on what is required from them to obtain a restaurant license. In reviewing this bylaw, we are trying to move towards more consistency across our licensing framework. So we're trying to incorporate the same language and wording in this bylaw as we do in our other licensing and permitting bylaws. So the proposed amendments, there are not a lot of amendments. We have changed definitions throughout the bylaw just to perhaps make them more clear, but also to provide consistency with other town bylaws. One of the bigger changes is the addition of allowing charitable or nonprofit organizations that do prepare food for sale they'll still have to obtain a restaurant license. They will, however, be exempt from paying the fee for that license. So that just keeps them in the framework and also makes sure that the health department still has to go out and do their inspections so that we're keeping the public safe. Another change is that applicants must submit a copy of their incorporating documents or their business name registration where that's applicable. And they must also provide us proof of valid insurance, naming the town as an additional insured. The license renewal timeline is being amended to 14 days. And we are also adding a requirement that a restaurant license will not be issued to any applicants that have any convictions or overdue fines with the town. That's something new. I will speak to the fee. We did do a comparison of a review of fees of area municipalities, and we are not recommending an increase in the restaurant fee at this time. We kind of already fall just in the middle of what others are charging, so we feel that's fair at this time. And that's really all I have for you. So I'm available certainly for your questions.
Very good. Thank you very much, Ms. McDonald. So at this time, I'd like to invite any questions or comments from the public regarding the matter. Any member of the public connecting via telephone is reminded to press *6 to mute and unmute. Is there anybody online at this time that would like to speak to this? No one online. Anyone in the audience would like to speak to this? No one that would want to speak to this. So at this time, I'll turn. Oh, would you like to? You have to turn on the microphone.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening. Rick Ugolini, 19 Cedar Drive. And you didn't even have to ask me. The only thing that I've seen walking along Broadway is smoking outdoors at these restaurants. And I have brought it up to some people, and I don't know if anything was done about it, but I have seen people smoking out on the street. And you can't smoke, or you're not supposed to smoke within, 9 meters of an entrance. I've also seen cigarette stands outside the doors of restaurants, which aren't permitted. Now, if people are smoking, staff, they usually go at the back, but this is what I've noticed, and it should be brought up and mentioned, I think. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. To me, if that is going on, I would encourage residents to report that to bylaw, make the phone call, or to send an email to our bylaw department, and the bylaw department will deal with that appropriately. I'm not going to debate with you tonight, Rick, but would you have another suggestion? Like, there isn't anything else we can possibly do, and you know that to be the case. So that's the only thing we can do is phone bylaw and go through proper channels. Okay, thank you very much for that question. So council, I'd like to, yes, Councillor McIntosh, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just a quick question, as far as charitable organizations, is there going to be an issue with everybody saying we're a charitable organization? I know we dealt with the Legion on this and they are a charitable organization, but I'm thinking of places like Blues and Jazz and stuff like that. Is there a definition of the charitable organization?
Ms. McDonald, did you want to speak
Yes,
to this?
through you,
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor Taylor, to Councillor Andrews or McIntosh, sorry. I'm just looking up the definition of not-for-profit. So it means a nonprofit organization, including a club, society, or association that is organized and operated exclusively for social welfare, civic improvement, recreation, and any other purpose except profit, and any profits or economic advantages which are received by it are used to promote its objectives and not used for the personal gain of any of its members or any other person. So essentially the determination would be at the licensing issuer's discretion. So essentially the clerk's division would take into consideration who was applying, what their charitable status is, as well as what they are using the funds for.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. McDonald. Councillor McIntosh, did you have any follow-ups or you? No? Okay. Councillor Stevens?
Thank you. About the fees, are they also prorated? Like, are the fees prorated if they open up their restaurants in July?
No, we pay one set licensing fee of $175 per year, regardless of the time of year that you may open your business.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. McDonald. Any further questions or comments? Oh, Councillor Andrews.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Taylor. To Ms. McDonald, regarding convictions, can you provide a little bit of clarity on that? Because are we talking about convictions pertaining to not paying fees, or would be looking at other convictions, say those that would be infractions with LCBO?
So we are looking not specifically to LCBO infractions. They're infractions with respect to fees owed to the town specifically. And the bylaw just gives us the ability to not issue a license based on that. It doesn't say that we won't issue a license. So if, a person they owe on their taxes and they have outstanding bylaw fines and parking fines, we would look at that on a case-by-case basis and then determine that, this person is not going to receive a license until they pay their fines, versus someone who, we make it known that they owe $25 for their parking ticket and they come right in and pay that. So it is on a case-by-case basis.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. McDonald. Did you have any follow-up questions or Councillor Andrews? Okay. Councillor Prendergast, did you want to speak to this?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Taylor. I just had a question about the insurance and the new addition of having the $2 million insurance coverage or policy. Was this a recommendation based on the analysis or comparison with other municipalities of a similar size?
Ms. McDonald?
It is actually, we are the only one of the comparators that we reviewed that don't already ask for insurance. And honestly, it is just from a risk management perspective that we're just trying to protect the town to make sure the appropriate insurance is in place.
Very good. Councillor
Thank you.
Prendergast, did you anything further?
No, I just wanted to thank you. Sounds very reasonable.
Very good. Any other further questions from council? No, seeing none. Mayor Post, did you want to question this at all or no? Okay. At this time, thank you, everyone. I will turn the meeting chair back over to Mayor Post.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Taylor. At this time in the meeting, we will go to our bylaws. There's a recommendation that the bylaw listed below be read 3 times and finally passed, which is just the confirmatory bylaw for the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Orangeville at tonight's public meeting. Can I have a motion, please? Councillor McIntosh, Councillor Stevens. Any questions, comments? All in favor? And that's carried unanimously. And a motion to adjourn. Deputy Mayor Taylor and Councillor Andrews, all in favor. And that is carried unanimously. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.